I actually had to record this response because I somehow mixed up some dates in my original response, which would have made me look a little foolish. So we're going to try again. What I thought was really interesting about your video and your presentation as a whole, which I enjoyed, your poem was great, very empowering. Um, when you speak about these beauty standards that have been enforced since arguably antiquity, like the Hellenic cultures and those cultures from back then, if you look even farther into the past, you can see that a lot of the Germanic and Celtic and Iberian cultures, even though I don't know if back then they were technically considered of those cultures, but around 200,000 plus BCE, there's evidence of these figurines called Venus effigies or Venus goddess effigies. The one specifically I'm speaking of is called the Hohenstein Stadel figurine. There's also the lioness woman effigy, but in general they're just called Venus figurines or Venus effigies, and these have existed since I guess it's ancient antiquity, since it's even before anything resembling a modern society, even the Hellenes. Um, so, if you go back far enough, there's evidence that before these odd standards of beauty or the modern standards of beauty were reinforced, modern being ancient Greece, 230,000-year-old statues, and even up until about 20,000 years ago, these statues were still used as what they would define as beautiful. And if you look at the statues, they're a lot more voluptuous overall. I want to say almost grotesquely exaggerated. And it's not anything that you would or that someone would consider a modern portrayal of standard beauty. Those figurines are really interesting to me personally because I'm from Germany, and I remember when we spoke about them in cultural anthropology class, and we talked about standards of beauty, like that they have existed since antiquity. Our professor was very delighted to show us that at some point people value beauty more so in virility slash fertility. So if you had very large hips or you were voluptuous, so there was evident that you had enough food and you were full of nutrients and just healthy in general. Whereas now we seek to be as skinny as possible, which is very unhealthy. Or the rate, like the body ratios are a very unhealthy ratio. But if you look back far enough in history, there was a point in time where hairiness and voluptuousness, I think that's the right word, and those kind of things were actually sought after in terms of what was considered beautiful and what was not. So I highly recommend looking them up. Like I said, it was the lioness woman effigy and the Hohenstein Stadel Venus figurines, or just Venus figurines in general. But they go back quite a long time and precede these modern notions. And it would be kind of cool to go back to those, because really we should be supporting healthiness, not, like the healthier person is, that's the more beautiful they should be, right? Not necessarily whatever people have in terms of individual preferences. I don't think that's fair to impose those kind of rules onto women or people in general. But definitely check out those effigies. That's kind of the first thing I thought of when I was watching your video.